Obviously, this week in Indianapolis should be fun, should be exciting. Kind of talk about Michigan State a little bit before we move on. Obviously, great team win. The thing I'm probably most proud of is just this team's focus. Overall, their focus, their discipline, and our chemistry. Our discipline is improving. I think we had one penalty in the game. I know we had a game a few weeks ago where that spiked up a little bit. There's some questions about that, so I thought that was great. And then just little things, little things that I notice as a coach and doing this a long time. Kickoff coverage. Joe Julius is kicking a lot of balls out of the end zone, and what happens on some teams is when that happens, guys stop running down the field. They run, they start jogging around the 15-yard line, just jog off the field. And examples of all 11 of our guys every single play running through the end zone. Those little signs of discipline I'm really pleased with right now. So that's been a real positive. Offensively, obviously scored 45 points and had over 460 yards offense, 386 rushing yards, 13 explosive plays in how we calculate it, no turnovers, which has been really significant for us here as of late, and then 35 points in the second half. Defensively, I think probably the key to the game was the 4 early trips to the red zone that were held to all field goals. No explosive runs. Our goal each week is to hold our opponent at to 3.3 yards or less per rush. We've done it 1.8 Purdue, 1.2 Iowa, 2.7 Indiana, 1.2 Rutgers, and then 2.6 from Michigan State. And Michigan State have been running the ball really well as of late. Special teams played really consistent the entire game, played physical, used really good techniques and fundamentals. That has really turned into a strength of ours. There's a report out there, one of them analytics companies, S&P report. They do it's basically a total offense or total defense, but it's specific to special teams. And I think we're ranked as high as 12th now in the country in total special teams. Which is something I think has really, really helped us and drive start average and field position and making big plays. So I'm really proud of Coach Huff as well as our specialists with Yaz, with Tyler, and then with Gillikin, obviously that group, the leaders of that group, and then Von Walker as a special teams captain have been awesome. So coaching staff players of the week was Trace McSorley on offense. Brandon Bell and Marcus Allen shared it on defense, and then on special teams, Blake Gillikin. And then obviously both Trace and Brandon Bell got some other national awards and things like that out there. So, this week, game against Wisconsin, and Coach Chris has done a really, really good job. Really good guy. I've known him for a number of years, not really well, but know him and have watched him from a distance, and has done a great job. Coach Alvarez, who's been part of that Wisconsin program for such a long time, and the amount of consistency that they've had there is unbelievable. They've, I think, been a part of the Big Ten championship game for 4 out of the last 6 years. We've never been in it, so there's an advantage that they have there from an experience standpoint. What I would say about these guys is when you think in your mind, or at least when I think in my mind, of what a traditional Big Ten team is, that's who these guys are. On offense, they're big, strong, physical. They're 6'6" across the board at every offensive lineman, except I think their left tackle is 6'7". Their tight end is 6'6". Their running back's 235 pounds. They run for power. They play action pass, take shots down the field. They lead the country in time of possession, which typically defenses now start to get antsy and they get overly aggressive, and then that's where you're susceptible to big plays in the passing game. And then offensively, same thing. It affects how offenses are because they're worried about how many possessions that they're going to get and start to change how they call the game as well. So that does have a big effect, but they've done a really, really good job. Joe Rudolph, who's a PA guy, Bell Vernon, PA, as the offensive coordinator, has done a nice job for him, but obviously Coach Chris has an impact there and has input there. Defensively, Coach Wilcox, who's had a lot of experience at an early age in his career, has kind of been all over the country. has done a nice job. You look at them statistically on defense, they're really good. Front seven is great. Linebacking unit, I think, is their strength as well as their secondary. I think they're leading the nation in interceptions. Goes hand in hand with the pressure that they're able to get on the quarterback. Then special teams, Chris Herring is their special teams coordinator, and they do a good job. The thing that really jumps out is they're solid and consistent in all phases on special teams. One of the things that they do on punt return is they line up, they screen move, they shift their fronts. They've gotten so many people to jump off sides by real fast screaming jump or move and moving the guys down the line of scrimmage, and have caused everybody to jump off sides. There's been some games that's happened multiple times. I think it's illegal. Technically by the rule, they're not shifting and stemming their front to run their punt return. They're doing it clearly to gain a penalty. You see right after they do it, their whole special teams go crazy. You can see that's clearly what they're trying to do. So we'll be prepared for that. We'll work on that all week long with our punt team. But it's going to be a great challenge. I know our guys are excited. We're really kind of looking at this, although we're the home game, we're kind of looking at this like an away game. It's no different. I think our guys are a little bit surprised at that, and I think some of them in their mind kind of looked at it like a bowl game. We're not able to travel everybody and dress everybody on the sideline. We have limits there. We're not going like 3 days early. It's an away game for us, the way we look at it in terms of our approach. It's going to be a night game. We've had a lot of those, and how we handle that in our approach, in our planning, and our organization. But our guys are excited. They're focused. We're not going to treat it anything different. We're not going to change how we go through our weekly game plan. We'll probably cut back a little bit this week, but we've been doing that every week. But besides that, we want to make sure our guys are fresh and prepared and ready to go on Saturday. So I know that was a little bit long. I will shut up now and give Chris the opportunity to open up the questions.